There are 4 kinds of mothers and therefore fathers. Number 1, you have absentee mothers. Generations cannot forget them. They are never there. They are busy in ministry. They are busy in business. They are busy in politics. While their children are growing up, they don't show up. They are not there. They are absentees. And when they are there, they are not there. Let me give you a snippet of our journey. My husband and I, by God's grace, my husband is the founder of this ministry. So he's the bishop. And we've been married almost 38 years. When our kids were young, when they were toddlers and babies, both of us, in fact, when we were cutting, both of us agreed that we will raise our children by ourselves. Our parents will not raise our children. Both of us had the 4 living. No house help, no nanny will raise our children. We agreed. So I put my career on hold for a while my husband was working to raise our kids. And then after a few years, because we had them in quick succession, we agreed that that's what we were going to do. We wanted them to grow together. Let's change the diapers together and then let them grow. Let's be involved. It's not that we had one now and then 15 years after. No. Let's make these sacrifices together. As these children began to grow, we didn't know that God would put us in ministry. As these children began to grow, the responsibility of pastoring this ministry came upon us, and it was not easy at all. After the ministry started, I got pregnant again. So with pregnancy, being the first sweeper in church, with 3 toddlers, it was heavy. I thank God for my junior sister. She was with us, and that helped. When I speak about nanny or house helps, it is not practicable in this age. I'm talking about 30-something years ago. There's no way you will survive now with a career without a house help or a nanny. So don't misquote me. I'm just telling you my story and my work. And it is peculiar to me. It is peculiar to my husband. It was what we decided. Because we didn't like the stories we were hearing about children. We didn't like what we were seeing about pastors' children. They didn't have time for them. And they did not turn out well. So when we understood that we would be in ministry, we made up our minds that these children are blank sheets of paper. By God's grace, we're going to write what we believe God has laid on our hearts by our own fingers. As these children began to grow, I did not travel anywhere. My mates were leaving me behind, traveling, preaching, doing meetings. I did not. I was lost in my children's world. My husband and I, every Thursday evening, we went nowhere. We didn't take no appointments. We had to stay with the children. It was our family night. They will ask us any questions. Why should I be married as a virgin? What is menses? How does pregnancy come? We did not do Bible study for them on Thursdays. We answered their questions because we did not want televisions set to answer. We did not want the world to answer. We were there. We grew up together. Our family is like this. That's why it's impossible to break the bond. It's not an occult, but it is something we have decided must be perpetuated. So I tell my children, natural and biological, pray that your children will be one. That is what we call tribal energy. It's important because there are too many envious relations in the world. You cannot afford for your children to be scattered. And if you're here this morning, you and your siblings are not together. It's a demonic attack. You need to pray about it. I still pray about it. I still pray this morning in the bathroom. Nobody will scatter my children. In love, they will grow together. They will be united. As they get married, those ladies or those men will blend. As their children come up, they also will blend as cousins. There are too many problems, family problems in the world. We don't want to add to that. As our children began to grow and the call of God came upon my life, I would travel with these children and they will sit down and I will acknowledge them. Thank you for not allowing the microphone to be snatched from your daddy's hand. Thank you for making it open that the gospel works. Thank you for living your lives in such a way that people know that as a pastor's child, you can be well read, you can be married as a virgin, you can love Jesus, and I will say things like that. As they began to move to another stage, before I preach Austria, Germany, London, America, anywhere, I would take them along and I will hand over the microphone to them, either to sing or to bring a short word. My husband will say, let them do it so that they will know that God did not steal us from them. We don't want to serve the God that took our parents' time. In this sanctuary, there was a time I held a conference for pastors' children. I cried when I listened to their stories. Too many pastors' children are in pains. Get out, get out, get out. People want to sleep. Nobody's there. We talk about pastors. We talk about the pastors' wives. But what about the children? People assume that they dropped from heaven, so they must not cry in church. They must not misbehave. And you call yourself a pastor's child. As if they don't have to go through infancy and childhood and teen years. As if they are not human. As if they don't have their challenges. And we will tell our children, it does not matter how bad it is. Just make sure you don't lie to us. Whether you are in the deepest part of the whatever, I'll be there with you as your mother. I'm glad they turned out well. I'm grateful to God that they are turning out well. To Jesus alone be the glory. Number 2 is abusive mothers. Bass, bows, any little thing, bam, boom. You stupid, you silly. Come and ask me. I've been there. All my self-esteem eroded. Forever I will bless the memory of my father. Abusive mothers. Because they are hurting, they hurt you. Some of them because they were expecting a son and you came as a girl, they hate you. Some of them because your husband shows affection to you, they hate you. Some of them because of what they are going through. Maybe you are a product of a family planning device that failed. They didn't want you. They thought they were done and you came. And then they begin to maltreat you. Some of them, they don't know better. Abusive. They abuse you psychologically. They abuse you emotionally. They abuse you physically. They use their mouths to abuse you. Look at you, look at you. Just be rolling, be rolling. So you don't know that. Look at your sister. Look at your sister. She's so smart. Look at you. See your life. See your life. And they don't know that they are saying something to destroy your self-esteem that shows later in life. Some fathers are also like that. Very abusive. You abuse the mother, their mothers in their presence. No public show of affection. You talk down on anybody in the presence of your children, forgetting that the first law of education is repetition. You model it to them. You see the pastor, you greet the pastor. Bless you, sir. You get home, you use the pastor as your toothpick. You don't know you are confusing your children because you are their perfect example and they don't have any eject button. Abusive. Number 3, we have permissive mothers. It doesn't matter. Just make sure just make sure you don't get pregnant. This dress is too short now, my dear. You are going out. Okay, be careful. Hey, I'm telling you now, you don't cook. You don't know how to cook. Will I be there for you every time? I'm okay, learn to cook. Okay, come and carry your food. Hey, another boy came today. What about that man? Hey, if they meet in this house, permissive. Anything goes. Anything. Even the way you live your life, the child thinks that money will come anyway. You have your body, just give it out. It doesn't matter. You don't need to work. Money will come anyway. That's not how we raise our kids. Even when we have the money, we make them work for it. Because a time is coming when we will not be here again with them. Will they be able to generate it? Because wealth can finish. It can grow wings. If it is not perpetuated in the entire country of Nigeria, only one family is now in the 3rd generation of wealth. The others, 1st generation. Believing God that it will be perpetuated. Money grows wings. It is not about what you leave for your children. It is about what you leave in them. Any little thing, take. I want ice cream, take. I want pizza, take. I want the mommy between them. When my kids were young and we would go to London to even get the ticket, you know now how much was Nigeria Airways. Pastor D, you remember that day, 4 days because we couldn't afford to change the ticket. When we're in the mall and I hold your hand like this, and you are saying, Mommy, I have bought one toy for you. Mommy, and you are dragging. Shopping has finished. We are going home. When I look like this, and you don't understand the look, and I know that in London I cannot beat you like that, let's go home. When we get to the apartment and the door is locked, your great-grandmother will almost come out of the grave that day. So the next time we go out, you will be, Mommy, can I? One day we were at a family meeting. I was sharing this on Instagram yesterday with Reverend Brother. And Daddy said, okay, let's talk about the weaknesses of everybody in this family. And Pastor Dotun said, Mommy's hand is the fastest. She has the ministry of laying on of hands. My husband will explain the reason for the beating. He will take his time. I don't have that time. Which explanation? By the time Daddy finishes, you will beg him to beat you. In fact, you will tell him, stop, sir, just beat me. Let me know that it's finished. Me, I don't need any explanation for you. Bass, boss, Sometimes it can be abusive. I'm sorry about it. I apologize. But, praise the Lord. Permissive parents. And then you look at the children because they cannot. It's not about what you leave for them. It's about what you leave in them. Can they recreate your wealth? Leave houses for them. Leave money for them. Can they recreate it? Because in my village, they say, Agoju logo fare foshita. If you put your life on inheritances, you are set up for a lifetime poverty. After you have finished selling those houses, selling everything, and the person that built them is gone, can you create the wealth? Can you generate it?